Oh, hi! Y'all, it is so hot today, it's so humid, and it's only gonna get worse this week. So rather than actually starting a project, I'm going to do the last little bits for my sewing room overhaul that has recently happened. Figured I'd take you on a little tour of the space. So let's just get into it, because it's too hot. It's just too hot, and I can't. So I think I got these last summer. I feel like I've shown you all these, but just in case I haven't, I got these. They had home goods stickers on the back of them at the flea market I bought them from. So that's where they're from. Not my typical style aesthetic, but it certainly works for storing little tiny things. Like I rehomed my medicine pill pack seed bead sorting devices, where I posted like a forever long video on me organizing all of these if you need some like cathartic viewing. This guy is new. I will admit I did go to Goodwill at some point. Right, I was donating a bunch of stuff from here and wanted like something I could stack here, because there were paper goods and shipping things that I just needed a better system for. It's absolutely perfect. Like my washi tape has a new home and all my stickers and shit. It's nice just having everything right by my desk instead of having to go like all over my sewing room to find the things. This is why I felt safe going into Goodwill, is because I was already stopping off to donate things. So then I just parked my truck. Both sets of doors were open to get into the store. I think there were 3 other customers inside, and weirdly, everyone was wearing a fucking mask. I just walked in, saw what I needed, grabbed it, paid for it. It was $2. And then the only person I interacted with was the cashier, and they were like sanitizing their hands and also had a mask. And I still feel obviously like I'm justifying it because I feel guilty for having gone to do like a non-essential shopping trip. I do still have this corkboard here when I come in the room, but honestly, I walk by it so often that I'm like blind to it, and I haven't actually used this in a long time. I should probably do something about that. I should maybe switch it to like my on deck project. So if I have like little fabric swatches or something, I just don't know. Because like both those recipes that I have pinned up there, I was supposed to make them for when a couple of my friends came to visit around Christmas. Hey, remember when you can have friends come visit? Anyways, as for the space you normally see, I feel like it's pretty much the same. I had like a wire rack that was sticking out of my little spinny guy here. I just didn't use it for anything. But now I can like see the fun stuff on my shelf back here. And it's just less cumbersome, like spinning this around. I don't know why it felt like an issue, but I didn't like it. And as for this stuff, this is all pretty much the same for what you can see. I used to have a lot of like shipping bags and little like pieces of paper to write notes and cards and stuff for like both my Patreon and for when I send out Etsy orders. But I have deemed this my when I have some downtime but feel like sewing but don't want to think about the project pile, which is all these like cutout pieces for those little triangle bags I did a video for ages ago. I cut out a fuckload of material for it. I was making those ahead of an event and ran out of time to make all of them, so I still have a lot of the pieces left over, as well as all the pieces for the ball toy, which I also have a video on that I made last year when I got little Bert. So I have a ton of pieces. I have a whole bag that I'll show you in a minute that has a bunch of like random stuffing pieces, and this is where all my scraps go to dye instead of throwing them out. You may recall this is where my paint used to live. That is now, this is covered in books from the library, so I will eventually not have anything on top of here. But this top bin of this like crafty caboodle motherfucker is just where all my acrylic paint goes. It fits perfectly standing up, and I lost my goddamn mind when I realized that it would fit in there. And I can see everything. It's not like stacked on top of each other. So rather than paint being here, which I would have to pull out like row by row to find the color I needed, don't have that problem anymore. Now, anytime any of you write me a note or like someone gives me a birthday card or something, that all lives here now. And it's really nice having that on hand. So if I'm trying to think of what to make someone that is part of my Patreon, I will go back through notes and kind of mull over what to send them. And it's also just nice like hearing from people. So if you ever want to send like a postcard or just like write about your favorite thing, my P.O. box is in the description, so feel free to send those types of things. But also, you know, stamps are what, 55 cents now? So like don't feel pressure. Anyways, I think that wraps up this little corner. Let us look in the desk drawers, because I honestly don't remember what's in there. Oh yeah, this has pretty much stayed the same. Like I have huge plastic canvas sheets down here. These are things I don't like use often, but are for specific crafting. So plastic canvas. I tend to use like actual yarn for it instead of embroidery floss or something. It's just thicker. If you can't tell, I was planning to make a Ramona Flowers themed something. And then I have some embroidery hoops because I have been doing some cross stitch, but I also made a bunch of like these things, and I would like to try my hand at embroidering because I've never done it before. I did use this as like a holder for my lapel pins and enamel pins and stuff as like a display piece. But I think fucking around with embroidering like around these flowers on this brocade, or just doing a fun design on one of these would be really cool, and actually is the type of thing that I like to kind of test out and play around with and then send to people in my Patreon. As for cross stitch, I use these tiny dudes, and yeah, they're just like tiny little frames. I don't know that they're for cross stitch, but that's what I use them for. And you know, a little tiny first aid kit because this girl is a ham-fisted ogre and hurts herself all the time. In drawer number 2. Oh, right. I moved all my canvases in here, which is good because they're just more on hand. Oh yeah. This is a thing I started in high school art class, probably sophomore year. I will finish this one day. Maybe we can do like a live stream where I work on this soon. Okay, as for like these already done paintings, they used to be part of my inventory for the in-person events I used to do, because remember when you could like go to events and do things? But I don't see that happening for the foreseeable future. Rather than have these like tucked away in a drawer gathering dust, I'm going to be giving them away as part of like mail time perks and things. So I don't know. I don't think of myself as someone that's good at like traditional art, but I still get ideas for traditional art pieces, and that is just nice to like get it out of my head. And then sometimes those ideas are so fun to execute that I'll do like a series of them, like these Hogwarts skyline paintings where I would do like watercolor sunset, and I have a handful of these. I did like a little cutout of the castle that I hand drew on a tablet on my computer and then cut it out with the Cricut. Yeah, I want them to go to good homes. So yeah, those will be given away to Patreon folks, as well as, okay, I'm doing like a follow-up video to this. I was gonna just mention it at the end, but we have the supplies here. I'm gonna do a video for any and all tiers about what I'm using these little shits for. Actually, they're kind of big. I do have 10 packs of them. I got them at the dollar store. I am 100% ripping off someone else's idea for using these. I will link to their video in the description of the video I'll be putting up. But I promise there's a purpose for the fucking cutting mats, and I'm not just a hoarder of weird shit. Although, I mean, like, let's be fair, I am a hoarder of weird shit. Okay, I promise I think that's the last thing I'm gonna mention about Patreon stuff. Obviously, it's a big part of why I'm able to do this stuff, and honestly just a big part of my life, which sounds wild and very cheesy to say, but like it's the God's honest truth. It's something I think about a lot of the time, because all of you that support me over there, like, I literally could not be doing this without you. So of course there's like different parts of my craft room that are like dedicated to that group of pals. So yeah, moving on to the like new, exciting, renovated portion of the shop, because I feel like what I've shown you so far hasn't actually been that interesting. On we go. Okay, little disclaimer, I do still need to put this away. Some of these are patterns I have used, like my Hogwarts robes patterns. I just gotta figure out like where to put them. Some of these are also patterns I like cut out and then just never did anything with, so those need to get packed away and put on my pattern shelf. This is just gonna live here for a while. It's quilting weight cotton and flannel in a massive pile, most of it donated from Cheryl because she's just the nicest fucking human on the planet. You will sense a theme of Cheryl things in this space because she has facilitated so much of my like growth as a crafter, literally helping me gain more skills and giving me tools to like be better at shit. And I'm just like bonkers lucky to have so many rad folks wanting me to succeed. So fucking thank you so hard. Drinking coffee and trying not to cry. Whew. Okay. Everything's fine. Anyways, judging by how the world is going right now, I see myself having to make masks for a while yet. Rather than like putting it away, taking it back out, putting it away, taking it back out. I'm just gonna leave that shit there because like at least once a week I get a couple people needing some, which is fine. I'm happy to oblige. Oblige? Let's not think too hard about it. It is like kind of a pain in the ass. Also, they're stressful to make because me making it is like helping protect someone, where normally when I make stuff, it's like for silly shit, you know? So there's like a heaviness to making face masks, as I'm sure many of you that have made them have felt. I do plan to make a big batch to donate again. That'll happen on a day where it's not so fucking hot. Moving on to this baby. I just received this from Cheryl, and oh my god. I don't know if any of you will remember, but in this space here at the end of my desk, there used to be a scrapbooking cart. It had like rainbow shelves and like a shiny silver metal top to it. It was not very structurally integral. That doesn't sound right. Did not have much structural integrity. There we go. It also, for a scrapbooking cart, couldn't even hold like the big sheets of paper. It could only hold like 8.5 by 11 and not like the big square fucking scrapbooking pieces. And it also couldn't hold anything heavy, like with any amount of weight on it. I was getting really frustrated with it. And real talk, these little bins, I think, are deeper than the drawers were on that scrapbooking cart. So there were things that'd be too tall to even fit in those drawers. So that is one of the things I donated, was that thing. Oh, I got rid of those jewelry making like carrier kits I used to have. I'm sure if you've seen any of my jewelry making videos, they were in the background. But I got rid of all of those because there's just so many drawers. I can fit everything. All of my findings have a home in here, as well as all my cam snaps that Jeanette sent me. What a revolutionary closure thing for me. She sent me those at like the absolute perfect time. I had never considered like plastic snaps before. She very, very kindly sent me like a whole kit and sent me some of her supplies, and huge fucking game changer for me. So yeah, thank you so much. Those have been such a huge deal for me. I use them all the fucking time, and now I can like just reach over here and grab them, and they're not just in a giant fucking bag where I have to dig through everything. Everything's right there. I don't have to dig anything out to get to my like jewelry making pliers. They're just right here. I can just reach over and grab them. It shouldn't be this exciting, but I did say the word storage porn while talking to Cheryl about how good this unit is, and I stand by that. Anyways, back to the weird hole over here. So there is a little gap here. Initially, I was gonna get like another set of shelves to put in here, but I don't need it because I condensed all my shit. But I do have this thing that my friend Kathy gifted me, and I haven't actually used it, but if you want to see me fuck around with it, let me know and we can do like a little test video. Because yeah, I was scouring Craigslist and like Facebook Marketplace and stuff, and actually when I went into Goodwill to get that other storage thing, I was keeping an eye out for like a tall skinny bookshelf, I guess. Once I got this guy and just reassessed what I actually used in here, I got to donate a bunch of stuff. And I sent my lovely niece and nephew some crafting stuff, including my fucking pony bead collection. I bet every single one of you has a stash of pony beads that you haven't used in 15 years, if not longer. And you just keep it because you've always had them. I finally gave them away. And I'm excited for them to like hoard these for the rest of their lives. But also I sent it specifically with some supplies and ideas for stuff for them to make with them. So like, remember those bead buddies? There's always a gecko. I don't know why that was like the default lizardy thing, but I made a shitload of those dudes when I was a kid, and I had a ton of fun. These are just all the supplies left over from that, and dressing up like a pirate. So I still have some beads for pirating that are here. They're like fun, fancy wooden ones though. Like these are some next level pirate beads. Because, you know, the essentials. I used to keep tiny pattern pieces in this thing, but they would like all tuck in and hide. Also, yeah, this moved. This used to be against the other wall over there, but now it's on this side. And just you wait till you see the rest of the space, because there's room. You see how I'm like, I can be out of frame? Because there's so much floor space. Here I am complaining about how hot it is, and I'm fucking doing jumping jacks in my basement. I'm like just excitedly pacing now. So, my fabric has always lived. Oh, you can't see that. Hold on. No, focus. Focus. We haven't moved past the zippers yet. Okay. This used to hold little patterns. I have moved those. I will show you afterwards. But all of my zippers are in here now. All organized by color and size and like type. So down here are the separating zippers. These are specifically metal separating zippers. I have invisible zips here. There are a couple patterns down here that I have to like transfer to paper, like my cherry dress. I'm still tweaking, meaning I am going to very soon work through making myself a block pattern where I do testings of like twills / muslins / mock-ups. I think those all mean the same thing. And really finally putting a bodice pattern together that fits me. Granted, my weight fluctuates, not anything extreme, so I think I'll probably be okay with like having a standard one, but I do understand the like frustration of putting the time into doing this. But now that I'm like upping my skills and shit, I really want to at least go through the process of making a proper block pattern that I can like base future dresses off of. Even if it's a different design, I'll know where the darts go and how wide the shoulder needs to be. I'm going to make myself do it. Again, if you want to see that process, let me know, because I think it would be fun to show you, because I think it's going to be a lot of trial and error and testing things out. You get it. I'm trying to make myself a better sewist. Okay, I have derailed myself once again. Let's shimmy over to this big bin. So this is where all my patterns live. These are the 2 envelopes that like that pile of patterns I have over there needs to go. And as for my Hogwarts robe, because it's a lot of big pieces, all made by me, so it's not like it came with its own envelope. I just have like these regular mailing envelopes, and this is where all of my Tilly and the Buttons Love It First Stitch patterns are now. I'll label it for the book that's in here, but there are like 6 patterns. So it's good for like the big bulky things. And as I work through more crafting books where I'm like tracing out patterns to try out, I think this is how I'm going to store them for what I have for a shelving unit for my patterns. And like as I go through these, I'm sure I will not keep all of them, but I want to try pretty much all of these just for the sake of trying them. I mean, it's going to take me years, but this is why I'm not letting myself buy new patterns for a while. I will allow myself to buy new fabric after the new year, because I'm on like a no buy new fabric this year. We are not counting the fabric that has been donated to me in this, because I am only human. But to do patterns, you tend to need a very specific type of fabric, so I don't have all of that available to me. I'm going to continue using what fabric I have for whatever projects I had in mind for them, because like there's a lot of that. There's so much fabric that I haven't used what I bought it for. So I am like limiting myself in some capacity, but like this is why I have so much more space now, is because I've been using the shit that I have in here, and that's been really nice instead of continuously stockpiling and hoarding and not actually using shit. This is literally the one thing I don't have a home for yet. It's all super portable, does not take up a lot of space, and like can go anywhere. I think once I give away a bunch of the paintings that I have done, this can go live in one of those drawers. Maybe on top of my like craft caboodle thing, once my library books, I'm able to return them, because the library is not accepting books back yet. I've had those I think since February. And I'm okay with it because I haven't really delved into those sewing books yet. I can't do the audiobooks I borrowed because I got fucking Handmaid's Tale, Testaments, and Midnight in Chernobyl, or Chernobyl at Midnight. Not very cheerful shit, and I couldn't handle those. But I've had them for months and months. But yeah, this is where my buttons live. And you know, it gets taken out a lot, so I need it to be accessible. It can just be a little nomad for a while. In here, it used to have a little bit of fleece, and now it is even more full of fleece. I used to have some of this on a little rolling cart, but my rolling cart has been revolutionized and I'm very excited about it. There was plenty of room for more fleece to go in here, so why not have it all in one spot? Why not have most of it in one spot? I still got some piles. You will see those momentarily. I'm gonna move my dress form out of the way. So I'm lying a little bit. There is this one thing I need to move out of the way to access everything in my shop, but I also have like my lights and the tripod you're on in the way. So there is some amount of rearranging, but not like it was before. Okay, so for me, this is the craziest part. I can put my arms out and I just feel so much less stressed out being in here because it was that like chaos of clutter. My garment rack, it used to be turned this way and like in front of other shit. Like I said, this big entertainment system thing used to be against that wall, and then this was crammed in front of it amongst other things, and like I couldn't access stuff. Where now I can just reach back. This is the bag full of like scraps. There's even an old pillow in here I'm gonna take the stuffing out of. A lot of this is inventory for my Etsy shop and, you know, events whenever those happen again. But also bags of specific project materials. So this is my like Ramona Flowers duck canvas. I have like a t-shirt project in this bag. I have a bunch of Hogwarts robes cut out in this white bag down here. Things are set aside, and when I am in the mood to like make a certain thing inventory wise and just like hammer a bunch of stuff out, it's already like in one place together instead of having the duck canvas put away on my fabric shelves, which these are the same. This is why I didn't show you, because they're the same setup, but I just have little cardboard bolts and I keep them in these wooden bins. That didn't seem very exciting. This seems very exciting. And like down here I have a couple storage bins and I can fucking reach in there now. It's not cramped behind other stuff. This is amazing. And not that I get into my like costume rack very often, but it's just nice having it out. You know, if I just want to channel my head wig for the day, it's right here. And like this shelf I can reach. So like my t-shirt quilt that I will one fucking day make, I can take it down now. There's not stuff in the way keeping me from wanting to work on that project. And that's bonkers. Okay, so I already mentioned my like fleece pile of shame. This got sent to me accidentally. I don't know if y'all remember that studio vlog where I was waiting for a material that should have been like lime green color for a custom Etsy order where someone wanted a Grinch onesie, and they sent me this from the warehouse. Again, it's 5 fucking yards. So they were like, well, it's going to be expensive to ship, so we don't want it back, so you can just keep that. So now I have a fucking massive pile of hot pink fleece. It'll get used, but I had it in its box forever, just stored in the back. I finally took it out. It can live up here now. I have some gray fleece for probably toe-to-row outfits. It's too hot for that right now. And then, yeah, I do still have some bed sheets up here that will get used for like linings, maybe some mock-ups, stuff like that. This is still my like kind of quicker project bin. There is less in here. I have been working through some of this. Like that flannel dress I made out of a shirt recently, that was from in here. It's slowly but surely getting there. I don't think I have any quick repairs in here, because otherwise I would have just done that for today's video. This is getting worked through. I may donate some of the things that are in here because they're like full garments and I just have had them sitting in here for so long. I just don't care about them anymore, which, hey, you know, it happens. And then yeah, all the rest of this faux fur that I like haven't done anything with but cannot get myself to throw away. Okay, I lied. The biggest evolution I was saying was like the floor space back here. My favorite thing is that this is where Bert sleeps now. He took over the bear costume shelf. Remember when I had a bunch of bear legs from out of nowhere for the sweater bed I made him? These are the rest of those costumes. And now that he has nested in here, I'm not going to use this fabric for any projects, but it's just his bed now. He does still have his suitcase bed though, so like don't fret. He has multiple napping places in here. Oh, I did redo this corkboard. I like sat through, I looked at every single piece that was on here because I hadn't touched it in forever. Some sketches I've already done. Like this is for a painting I did. This is my Sally dress. Some like little things, but then future ideas. Like I want to make a Carl dress like in Hank Green's book. And then these are all work basket pages from magazines that my friend Grant sent me. And then just like lists of video ideas, or I mean just things to make. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on here that I will work through, and it's nice just having like a little inspiration board. Oh, okay. So y'all saw me get choked up over the iron that I received from Cheryl. Few things have made me cry this year as hard as getting these from her. I did make these like weird little strappy guys, but you have all heard me talk about a Taylor's ham, and I used to call this a hot dog, but apparently it's called a seam roll, but whatever. Why not have a little more whimsy in your life? Yeah, I have talked about wanting a set of these / wanting to make a set of these. One of you even sent me a fucking pattern that I think you made yourself, and I still want to try that out. I haven't printed it yet. I mean, I've had printers in the past, but I don't think I've used one in a house in like a decade. See, this is something I'm stuck on, right? Is like that feels like getting new patterns. So that's been a roadblock for me doing it. Also, like making anything for myself, I feel much less capable of tackling those projects. Or like I don't deserve to spend the time making something for myself. So getting sent these at a time where, as I was mentioning before, I am going to work on doing mock-ups and really upping my sewing game, specifically like dressmaking game, especially when you're fucking with darts and shaping things. Like even if we get into princess seams, which I do want to do, you really can't get as good of a press on those things and do as much shaping without these tailoring tools. So when I received them, I definitely lost it. Just, yeah, getting to up my sewing abilities because you all believe in me so much. When you're drinking more coffee and not gonna cry, it's a big deal. As many of you know, I had a hard time with my, I mean, I've always had a hard time with my confidence in most things, but after losing the costume shop job, like, that obviously took me down a few pegs. I took myself down a few pegs. I have had multiple stages of coming back from that, but this felt like momentous. I haven't even used them for anything yet, but I know how to use them and what I need to use them for. It's not just like, hey, here's some things that like I can work up to using. It's like I'm ready for the stage of sewing where I need these. Like I felt myself needing these tools. Just feel very, very fucking lucky and like would not be at the place mentally that I am without y'all. So I know I go on about this and like go deep in the cheese a lot, but it's 'cause I mean it. I often find myself being just wildly thankful for so many rad folks hanging out with me on the internet. So it's your fault that I'm able to get better at sewing and be a real cheeseball all the time. So blame yourselves. Anyways, another gift that she gave me was this Harry Potter bag. She bought it a long time ago. Fuck Joe Rowling, trans rights or human rights. What the fuck is she doing? But I did turn this into a little Han Solo holster for when I'm like sitting at my machine and then standing at my cutting table, my other tiny desk, and then standing at the ironing board, just having like scissors and a thimble and like a sewing needle and a rotary cutter and a ruler on hand just at my hip is great, so that I'm not like losing track of everything every time I stand up. So I'm very excited about this little bag, this cool little fanny pack. And straight up, I feel like a badass having like some Tomb Raider level shit happening at my hip side. Some of you may recognize this. As I mentioned before, that orange striped hanging thing where my zippers live now used to be where my patterns used to live. But now I have put them in here. And I'm going to upgrade them from the paper versions, and they may move on to a new home after this. I'm really jazzed about just having them all in here. It feels cool. I didn't realize how many patterns I had made myself. It's really nice having them all in one spot. So that's one update, as well as you may see behind me, I have an ironing cart. Well, there's a lot of things on this cart. This is where that other fleece used to live, was like most of these shelves. I was gifted these carpet samples by my pal Grant, and I will be making some bags with them as I get better at bag making, continue to get better at bag making, because man, I've already leveled up so much with bag stuff since the beginning of the year. Weird how when you practice and try new things and like follow through ideas that you have for testing things out and figuring out what does and doesn't work, you improve your skills. Wild. Oh, and all my shipping stuff is down at the bottom where it used to be on top. But I put all my ironing stuff up here. I was also gifted this steamer, which I will be using for a project I'm almost done. Guys, I made myself something that I didn't film the process of, and it's just for me. And it's something that I'm going to wear a bunch. Like, I'm sure there will eventually be Instagram posts because it's a really twirly skirt and I can't not twirl around in it for the internet. It's not like it has to be a secret, but I don't often make myself things just for the sake of making myself things. So it's nice to do that sometimes. And it's coming out really, really well. But this is my fancy new cordless iron. I used it for a couple projects actually, and God, it's so nice having something that provides steam. That is, for me, the biggest increase in my project quality is like ironing stuff. And I'm the first person to be like, but I hate it. It's worth it though. I suggest you iron if you don't currently do so. Game changing having this on a little cart next to me. Okay, so this is the new layout. I don't think I missed anything, but if there's a specific spot where you're like, wait, you didn't talk about that one weird corner of stuff, feel free to ask, and I will dive further into detail somehow. I both feel like not a ton has changed, and like everything in here has changed. I get good energy in here now. Not that it was bad energy before, but it was just very chaotic and scatterbrained. I feel like everything I spent, I mean, it was like 2.5 days of shifting and reorganizing and making Lego Boyfriend move furniture that I couldn't myself move, is helping me like focus in on what I want to do with my space, you know? All right, it is about too hot to be in here now. I think I'm going to take my weird little cutting mat project set up outside, because I do have like a little outdoor workspace now, which is fucking amazing. Bert loves it. It's just really nice, and I am definitely in a better mood when I am outside, and also feel super fucking spoiled that my partner like wanted to build me a little outdoor space because he knows I work from home a lot. Working on this outside, maybe bring my laptop and watch some Queer Eye because there's a new season that I'm very slowly working through. I like can't handle that much emotion, even though it's like positive and people are working through things and like they're always coming out on the better side of things. It's still like too much for me to handle right now with the pandemic and the fucking civil rights movement that is happening, that I am very much here for. By the way, all of my Etsy proceeds for June 2020 are going towards Black Lives Matter. I didn't mention that. Wanted to throw that in there if you're interested. I will also link to their website if you want to check stuff out, find some calls to action, some like petitions to sign, phone numbers to call. I also, last week, posted a link, one of my favorite new YouTubers. She's a black sewist named The Crafterpreneur, and she's fucking delightful. I found her like right at the beginning of the pandemic, and it's just been so nice. Like, I want to hang out with her so badly. And this week I will link to Evelyn from the internets. She is not a crafter. I don't think I've really seen her do crafting stuff, though she's done some like Marie Kondo type organization, and she has a series called Smack Yo Lip that is wonderful, where she reviews snack flavors and things. She's super fucking funny and one of my like longest running favorite black creators on this platform, so I will link to her channel if you want to check her out. Also want to be friends with her very badly. As for me, links to all my shit further down in the description, and I will see you all back here next Friday with another video. Thank you so much for hanging out. He's so fucking cute, and I can't handle it.